New information regarding Nathi Mthethwa's death. So the story that we told is starting to change. And I told you that whenever there's a change in the timeline or the changes in the facts, I'm going to come back and talk about it. So first of all, let me give you some updates since the last time we spoke of what has happened since then, right? So right now as we're talking, they are saying that the autopsy is finished, but the report is not out yet. So the autopsy report is still not being released yet. So the autopsy is done and they're going to be preparing the body to move it from the French mortuary to a private mortuary so that they can get it prepared to be repatriated back to South Africa. Now, they're saying that the death certificate has been issued. So if the death certificate has been issued, that leads us to think that there might be other technical things that are going on with the autopsy report, which is making them not to release it. But hopefully they are done with the investigation, because it wouldn't make any sense to release the death certificate, which will have the cause of death, before you finish the investigations that you were doing through the autopsy. Now, the second part is the cell phones. You probably remember that I flagged the cell phones twice already on those two videos, that something is not making sense, that maybe the timeline is going to be fixed as time goes, because what they were saying there in the first statement wasn't making sense. So just to recap, they were saying that the phone dies in the park at around 3 p.m. and then a message is sent in the evening later on. So how does a phone that has died in the park send a message from the hotel? So now this is the new story. So the story has changed now. They're saying that when he left his place, he said that he was going to an event, but he went straight to the hotel, right? So he booked this hotel on the 15th. He booked it for the 27th and the 28th, but he ended up moving it to the 29th. And he left his place, went straight to the hotel. Now, the statements that first came out was that the phone died in the park, and then the police went to the park, looked for the phone, didn't find it, went back, looked for him in the hotel, didn't find it. Then when he was found the following day, they then went to the park and looked properly. That's when they found the phone. Now, that was the story that was circulating from the French sides. But the new story is now saying that no, both of the phones, there are two phones, were found with him. Now, when they say with him, they're not specifying on his body, which means down there, or where they found upstairs in the room, in his room that he booked. So we don't have clarity on that. Wherever I looked, there was no mentioning specifically where was the phone, were they in his pockets or were they left in the room. So I don't want to speculate on that. So that's the new story. But the part of the phone dying in the park, they're still not dismissing that. That part is still there, but they're saying they never went back to look for the phones and found them. The following day, the phones were found on the scene. So the part that they're changing here on the whole story is that they never went back to get the phone. The phone was already with him. But this raises a couple of questions now, because remember, they're saying that he went directly to the hotel. So that would either mean that he walked past this park and that's where the signal died, right? Because they're saying that he went directly there. He didn't pass by anywhere, he went directly there. So if the phone signal did go through the park and that's where he died, it will mean that the hotel and where he stays, the park is somehow in between, and probably he walked there or drove there or something like that. But so far, we don't really have much of a confirmation from the authorities to say specifically he was here, he went there. It's a little bit vague, which is why many people are speculating and many people are flagging, including me, some of these timelines. So they're saying that his son and the rest of the family are going to fly in to collect his spirit and collect his body as well, in which the body is going to be repatriated on Thursday night. So the spirit collection is probably going to happen between now and Thursday afternoon, so that at night they can be able to take his body and take it home where he's going to rest. But when it comes to the reason why this has happened, nobody knows. Up to this point, even the family doesn't know. So the family is saying that nobody was aware of anything that was going on in his life, either his professional life or his personal life, which could have led him to go down this path. Now, when his wife was even asked, she's saying that she's still 50-50 regarding was there something behind this entire thing or was this suicide. So according to her, even after reading the death note and even after the message that she received, she seems to still not have any reason or see any reason why he would have done something like this. So many people were expecting that probably on the death note or on the suicide note, he would have written the reasons why he's doing what he is doing or what he's about to do, or on the SMS or the message that he sent to his wife, that he would have maybe put some hints there or some reasons as to why he's going to do what he's going to do. But if they are saying this even now, that they still don't know why he would have done something like this, that probably tells me that there was no details that were told to the family or to his wife or written on the suicide note that can at least give people an idea as to why he did what he did. Or maybe it can just be something that is personal, in which the family just might not want to put out there into the world, because I mean, this is a sensitive time, and of course it makes a lot of sense. Now, the other part is about the South African investigators. So from the beginning of this entire thing last week, the people who were investigating this were the French, right? The French police and the French investigators. But then there was now pressure into the South African government to go and find out what actually happened. So they put up a team, I think it was 5 investigators who were supposed to come to France and then do the investigation. But up to this point, we still don't really have any confirmation that they have arrived. We heard that yesterday they were delayed because there were some procedural things that were not in place, so travel documents, stamps, and things like that. And now the French authorities were asked about this, and I think this is very, very interesting. So they were asked if they are allowing, or if they are okay with allowing these investigators to come in and also be part of this investigation, be able to see the evidence, be able to see the body, be able to see everything, the CCTV and all of that. And every time they were asked this, they never answered. They never said yes or no. They just left that question untouched. Which is weird, because I feel like this will be something in which it has already been decided that yes, we can accept the South African investigators to come and help us with the investigation. And now I think when you think about how this is becoming a little bit more difficult than they thought for them to get authorization to come here and investigate, then in a way it kind of looks like there is no clear coordination as to, like, are they being given the green light to come here and be part of the investigation? Because if that was the case, I feel like some of these documents things could have been done while they are traveling, and it could be fixed, because this is a high stake matter. But it looks like there's a lot that needs to be done before they get here. So they can't just come here and start acting like investigators. They need to be officially stated that they are investigators, and there are a few things that need to be stamped and few documents in which so far they didn't have. So we're going to see when are they going to arrive, because it would have made much more sense for them to arrive before the body is repatriated. And lastly, there's been a rumor that had been circulating in the news networks. Now, I'm not going to dwell too much into this. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I just thought I should mention it just in case it does become important in the future. So an anonymous close associate who didn't want to be mentioned. Now, this could be a friend. This could be somebody who worked here at the embassy. This could be a member of family. We don't know who this close associate is, but the person was saying that the deceased had been having dreams where he was seeing his deceased father, who was calling him to come back home. Now, just to point it out, this is like outside or far away from the investigation itself, because investigation, they don't deal with rumors. They don't deal with what somebody else said. They deal with what they can see. So we're going to hear what the autopsy says, the autopsy report, but it's not yet being made public. And so far, wherever I checked, I couldn't really see the CCTV. So hopefully with time, we're going to get more and more information about this. So I just thought I should just come and give you a quick update regarding this. And if anything more interesting does come out, we're going to talk about it. Now, if you like this kind of content, please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Reshare this video right here where you are. And tell me, what do you think is going on? What do you think the conclusion is going to be in the comment section? And I will see you there.